bacon time. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Dads with Bacon Talking Sports Show for this week, July 20th, 2023. Today, we'll be talking a little bit more about the Northwestern hazing scandal. Big mess there. We'll be talking also about or giving our what we're calling our way too early NFL predictions. This week, we'll be looking at the AFC West. We've been doing the AFC division by division the last few weeks. So AFC West is this week. Then we'll also be talking about DeAndre Hopkins and a couple of some of the issues with running backs here in the NFL. A lot of them, not getting the extensions they feel they should be getting. Talk about that. AEW Blood and Guts was last night. We'll have Adam on, and he and Ben will be talking about that, and obviously we'll all be kind of chiming in, except me, because I have no idea what the hell's going on. But all right, we'll have all these. Let's bring everybody else on. We'll also be talking a little bit about. We'll be getting. Let's see. Ben and Troy did not get a chance last week to give their picks for the Women's World Cup, so maybe we'll get around to that. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Troy. We laid that on you, man. I didn't clue you in first, but you know what's funny is last week Marco kind of laid it on all of us too. So the rest of us, Marco was the only one that knew that was going to happen. So yeah, and then also we'll be having Jeremy Rowe will be a guest at the end of the show, talking about his song, "The Dad Bod," and we've been talking to him about having it be our official Dads with Bacon Talking Sports theme song. So we'll be talking to him about that and about some of his music. Troy will be leading that conversation. So, like I said, Adam will be coming on later with AEW. So anyway, why don't we get right into things with the Northwestern scandal? Just a big mess. And Marco, since you're actually the only one of our group that's in Chicago, I realize it's a national story, but why don't you kind of clue us in on what the latest is right now, kind of a Cliff's Notes version?
So over the weekend, they decided to file some lawsuits, some civil rights lawsuits. Very popular lawyer, Ben Crum, for civil rights. He's won hundreds of civil rights cases regarding police brutality. You've seen him on TV. He's been around. But what they did, which was weird and not something that I think we've seen before, is the victims then took the podium and the camera and started to talk and say their side of the story. I just find that to be a little bit weird. You never see that in any other cases. You never see that in any other sort of situation. When you have something as heavy as what's being alleged, it's now kind of spread to volleyball and softball. There's been rumors of, affecting all sports for the upcoming academic year. It's very serious in allegation, but the AD still hasn't come out. He released a small press release. I think the university is taking the stance of pleading the fifth and keeping quiet while everything gets sorted out through litigation. Fitzgerald has filed a lawsuit for wrongful termination. So we got a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on that really, terrible light for the university. Terrible things. If some of the things that these kids were saying, that the mindset that put them in is bad. And I know last week I took the stance of supporting Coach Fitz and thinking that they're doing Northwestern dirty. I'm not digging my heels in, but I still think something looks odd in the way that they're going about this with such public attention and bringing the victims out. You can debate over what's hazing, what's harassment, but you can't take away what makes you feel uncomfortable and what right and wrong. So I know, I don't want to get too much into it, as there's a lot going on. I don't want to, create controversy or have a particular hot take about it. But I will say that it does look a little weird when you compare it to other cases and other things where they're bringing the victims out in front of TV. There's only one other case I think we've seen something like that, and it was with a particular president and a payoff, and that person was all over TV, all over the place. and that's the only type of thing I can relate it to, right? You never see the victims come out and speak like this, before any justice has been served.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean, it was a little bit closer to home. The Penn State thing with Jerry Sandusky. I don't remember for sure if any of the victims spoke beforehand. I think maybe the one assistant coach did. Was that Mike McCreary or something like that that maybe said something before any of the other victims had said anything? But yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I keep comparing this situation to that situation. It seems like there's some sort of cover up happening here, and it's going to come out. It's going to come out.
Well, and I think when you compare those two, I guess the one thing that stands out to me is the fact that, and this is the first time I'd really thought about that when you brought it up, Troy. But it would be the fact that in both cases, the head coach, claimed, and I'm not saying Fitz is lying, but in both cases they claimed that they had no idea that anything was going on. And I will say this: I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt in this particular case until it's proven that he actually did know it and just didn't do anything about it. But at the same time, I've heard a lot of people say this on in the last week on national radio, and I can't really argue with it. And their point is these guys that are coaching at this level, at the Big Ten level, SEC level, all those different schools, are some of the biggest control freaks that you'll ever see. I mean, most of them they don't hire somebody and then be like, okay, I'm hands off. That's it. You do what you want. It's like they have their hand in every single thing. I mean, that's if you look at basketball, when Rick Pitino got in all the trouble, was it at Louisville where he supposedly, they were hiring girls to have sex with recruits and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, well, I had no idea. And people were like, wait a minute, dude, you know everything. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
And that's where I have a little bit of trouble. But at the same time, the reports that came out so far, or was it the NCAA or was it the school that issued a report? And in that report, it said that there was no evidence that he had any idea that, to the extent that it was going on.
That was the findings of the investigation. Yeah, the findings of the investigation was that he didn't know, but there was opportunity for him to know, or he should have known.
Okay,
Sign him
all
up
right.
for a
So I guess
polygraph.
I'm going to inject there a little bit, guys, because this is where I think I get a little bit frustrated. Is looking at any situation like this. We've talked about it before. I don't know. We've talked about it before in private conversations, but this is happening to some degree everywhere. Let's not kid ourselves. Pick your favorite school. This is happening there to some degree. This is happening. So I would say that I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that excuses it. I think you have some people who want a limelight shed on them right now. Again, there are victims that are the victims I feel for. Not arguing that point. But the way this is being held, the point that Troy made, the cover-up with Penn State felt like it was on Penn State's side. Right now, it feels more on the collective victim side a little bit, which is very odd to me. That's what feels different. Like I look at some other situations that have come up. We have seen victims speak when it came to like USA Gymnastics and other similar controversies have come up where we did hear the victims speak. It's not entirely unprecedented, but the tone's different. This one's they've tried to win in the court of public opinion before it even got to the court at all, period. And that's just it feels a little more backhanded. It feels a little bit something's just off when you have comments leaking right away of guys saying they're out there to get Coach Fitz fired. It just something stinks.
Yeah. I think we brought that up too last week, Ben, when you were gone. Was that one of the guys that was speaking out against Fitz had already, I mean, wasn't even trying to hide the fact that he was trying, he had some kind of an issue with him. And so it was, and that kind of stuff, it just doesn't pass a sniff test. Brad, what are your thoughts on I know we talked about last week and you and TJ were both on. Any difference?
I try to put myself in the coach's perspective, having coached young men in the past myself. Bottom line, ultimately, in every situation, and then there are no exceptions to this statement. In every situation, the bottom line is you. You are, in fact, the bottom line as the coach and as the manager of those individuals.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. So again, whether you knew or not, that has nothing to do with it because you should have known. You should have had people who were in on, whether it be in the know, to be able to report back to you or to be so involved that you knew.
So here's where, and I don't mean to interrupt, but here's where I'm very confused with how Northwestern is handling this. If it spreads to other sports, now we have a bigger problem. But also the person they want to put in place to run the football program was there last year, and was there and has been there for 2 years, I believe. So they didn't just clean house and then investigate. They got rid of the guy on top, but they're keeping everybody else to what? You're gonna train them. You're gonna teach them. You're gonna slap them on the wrist, and they're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Something
I mean,
to do.
understand though that that's what comes along with that position, though. I mean, that is a direct job responsibility. You know, I mean, if you are the manager of your company and you work for corporate, and some guy comes in, it's like, hey man, guess what? You've been the leader of this store for the past 3 years, and it ain't going the way we thought it was. Sorry. They have
That's way different, though. I'm sorry, I'm gonna disagree with you a
well,
little bit.
yeah. When it comes, I mean, but I think that the way that it should be handled is the same, where you can look at the performance and say, look, this is not the outcome that we want, clearly, because it's when I read things about like graphic sexual intense behavior, forced nudity, things like that. I mean, to me, that it puts me in a position where I'm like, nobody's just going to come out and publicly say that, because that's humiliating. So I just I don't I take the people who are coming out at face value, and I think that what they're doing is the best at what they can do right now, because if you're the man in charge and that's going on, sorry, you got to go.
Yeah. TJ, what are your thoughts? You've been quiet here so far. By the way, before you answer, let me ask you this. Since you've been playing organized ball, the most recently out of all of us, did you ever do any kind of hazing stuff? I don't mean to this extent, but I mean, like, I don't need you to drop any bombs on us here, but like what were some of the things that you? I mean, I'm sure you guys must have done stuff to the new guys, like probably more in fun. Well, what was some of the things that you did?
I mean, the worst thing that I think we've ever done was God, I don't even know. Because I mean, they were all kind of like just like ha ha rah rah type of deals.
Yeah,
it's not like one of those things where you want to make somebody leave the team.
Carry the bags, buy the drinks, right? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think the worst thing we did was I think my 2019 we went down to we were down in Virginia for a championship game, and we left one of the new guys the check for all of us from eating that night after the game, and it was like, I don't know, like $3,000, and he was so funny.
Geez.
He was like, "Oh, cool, yeah, like I'll get it." I mean, it was the whole team was there. He's like, "Yeah, I'll get it." Like, no hard feelings. But I mean, we all went through it. So like when I first got into it, being the only white boy on the team, they actually took a thing of like toner, like tanner, and they sprayed it over me.
Tanning oil.
And I was in the middle of practice. They're like, "Oh yeah, you need some sunscreen on," and I didn't realize that it wasn't sunscreen, and they sprayed it all over me. And I walked around, and like one of the guys started laughing. He goes, "Dude, I never knew you turned black." I said, "What happened?" He showed me a picture, and I was like, "Yep, sounds about right."
You're lucky you didn't get canceled, boy.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that kind of shit will get you canceled nowadays. So anyway, okay. So what are your thoughts now on the Northwestern stuff?
So with the whole Northwestern thing, it's actually starting to trickle down now into the youth programs as well, because for the program that I coach, they actually have a guy who is coming to all of our practices now to watch to make sure none of this stuff is happening. So in my eyes, I feel like I'm siding with Brad. It's like, you knew this was happening. You can say you didn't know this is happening, but he's coached for how long there at Northwestern? There's always hazing, even if it's like I said, some playful hazing, cool. But when it comes to like this more like sexual, the nudity stuff like that.
Yeah. That I mean, clearly the line has been crossed.
Yeah, he knows this is going on. So what does he do? He just turns his back and say, you know what? I don't want to be a part of this. But now he's fully a part of it. Like this.
You're muted, bro.
Oh,
You're muted, TJ.
Yeah. So
Well,
There you go. There you go.
go ahead. You're back.
But yeah, I feel like it's wait, where did I get cut off at?
You're
You
fine.
were saying
Just
that
keep going.
he knew what was going on. That's what you were saying. Like,
Yeah, I mean, he knew it was going on. He turned his back, and now everything's on his hands.
Yeah. Okay. Troy, did you want to add one more thing there? And then
no,
we'll
I
move
just,
on.
I mean, this will continue for a little bit until whatever bombshell needs to drop will drop, and
Well, I
you know,
I guess let me since you said that, let me just ask this quick question. Now we'll just go around and say whether or not you think this is going to happen, and then we'll move on. Because I did hear a rumor that some of the faculty at Northwestern were demanding that the president suspend school sports for the season. That's the rumor I heard. Now, I don't know. That was actually out of one of the, I think it was out of the Score in Chicago on Monday. They were talking about that. I mean, and that would it be a big deal? Obviously, yes. But I mean, I don't know, what would happen with the TV money from the Big Ten Network and that stuff. Would they not pay them that year, for this year or whatever? I don't know. But let's go around. Ben, I'll start with you. Do you think that's something? Do you see it going that far?
I don't. I think that we discussed in the show before. Money wins all, and the cost of that decision is way too extreme to the university. And while we can all fly the banner for education, the money that comes to a school like Northwestern still is heavily benefited from having sports there. It's an academic institution. It's a great academic institution that way. But there's no that's the SMU just about right there.
Yeah.
You will lose everybody in this transfer portal era. We'll never see a Northwestern program again, especially when you're talking during this period in time when you have conference expansion and movement.
Mm-hmm.
This is how Northwestern becomes a MAC school, if that's what happens.
Yeah. Brad, how about you? You think that would be that extreme or not?
Yeah, I mean, 2 words: financially crippling. And that's how heck a lot of those faculty members are being paid, are through athletic funds. I mean, it's the biggest cash cow there is in college.
Yeah.
The state isn't giving them that money. Athletics is generating that money. They're printing that money. So
that's why I always love the faculty are the first ones that are like are at the podium screaming to get rid of sports half the time when stuff like this happens. And
not to mention it would be it'd be even more punishment on the players. I mean, think about like for those athletes who are the ones who are doing it right, who we're supposed to be standing up for. They still need that is their, I don't want to say God-given right, because it's not. It's the privilege they've earned in order to participate on that level.
TJ, where do you think it'll get to that extreme or not?
I don't think so. I think they want to push it there so everything can be kind of rolled out more. But I feel like if you take away something that's like a coping mechanism for some certain kids, like playing football, it's a lot of aggression. So if something happens, you need to get your aggression out. Tackling few, as a water boy likes to say. Tackling few. That's what that's them right there. That's what they I feel like for baseball, you hit a baseball, you picture somebody's face on it, crack them out the yard. So if they take sports away, they're taking away a lot of these student athletes' coping mechanisms to this what's going on. So if they take it away, Northwestern's gonna be the laughing stock of NCAA.
Marco, how about you? What are your thoughts?
So I just did a quick research to understand the timeline. Both the AD and the school president are new as of 2022. I think they do take sports away to really push the point. And if they don't, the NCAA will, because that's how the hello. That's how the
power.
Sorry.
That's
me.
Because so yes, I do think that.
You think they'll suspend sports for the year?
That type of penalty could happen.
The
lawsuit is actually names the former AD Jim Phillips. So he was there from 2008 to 2021. So the new guys pin everything on the old guys, clean it all out. They get off the hook for Fitzgerald's contract, which is in the 40 millions. They get to reconfigure this $8 billion or however many $100 million redesign. There was a lot of money that's hanging in the balance, and these new guys can go in there and change it all up. They're going to have the funds from the donors and the boosters, and Northwestern's not poor, and they're not great. They're not winning championships.
Yeah.
So they could survive. Yeah, they can end up in the MAC, or they can be independent for a couple years. The landscape of the NCAA in 3 to 5 years is going to be completely different with the mega conferences in football.
True.
So they'll be able to survive it. And I think based off of the court of public opinion, they can definitely do that. I can definitely see that being a thing where there's no athletics.
Troy, what do you think? Then we'll move on here.
I know we're running low on time here, so I'll just say no. I don't think they'll do that. I think there's too much money involved in that. Do I see them maybe canceling some of the smaller programs? Possibly, but yeah, I can't see it. There's too much money. That's too much money.
I don't know. I can cancel the smaller programs without the big ones that are being named. I mean, baseball, volleyball, football. Those those are the cash cows.
I know, because those are probably the ones where it's happening. You're right. So I don't know what the right answer is. Maybe some suspensions from some, either suspensions or firings from some of the top people in the program, like we've already seen, obviously. But I would say even presidents, stuff like that at this point are probably going to get cut loose here at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to our what again we're calling our way too early predictions for the NFL. But hey, the training camp's at least open this week, so we're talking about the AFC West this week. And why don't we, Troy? We'll start with you. What are your thoughts on just the overall look of the division and where you see the different teams landing?
I mean, I'll be totally honest with you. I don't see it changing much. I mean, I think the Sean Payton hiring for Denver is going to help them get a few more wins, and it'll probably jump them over the Raiders. But I don't see, other than the Raiders jumping over, other than Broncos jumping over the Raiders, I don't see anything else change with the division. I guess my big question is, will the Chargers finally put it all together? Because they seem to go in stretches where they look one of the best teams in the league. And then they turn around and lose to, the Colts and the Texans, and you wonder what the heck happened. And so I still think the Chargers are the biggest threat to the Chiefs. I don't know. I maybe I'll eat my words, but I think Russell Wilson's done. I think he's done, and then maybe Sean Payton will find a little bit of a magic there left in him. But I think that system in Seattle fit Russell Wilson perfectly. They relied on that defense in the run game, and here we are. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you want my order of prediction right now, but I think you're looking at Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders.
Okay, so you think the Broncos will finish? They have enough to jump over the
Raiders.
The Raiders, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I see them fighting for 500, 7 to 8 wins probably.
Okay, Brad, how about you? What are your thoughts?
I'm going in that same order. Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Raiders. I think the Raiders are taking a big step back. There's when you had that coaching staff that Hackett had in Denver, and to be quite honest, the way that Denver had handled Russell Wilson, even coming in, just basically, massaging that oil in there real good for him, making him feel real good. I think that's done. And, again, I think I got nowhere to go but up. So, in addition, their defense is, still really good and has gotten better in their draft. I don't see the Chargers really really competing for the division. I think KC wins that division by 3 games.
Hey, quick, let's piggyback off of that, Brad. I'm sorry, Aaron, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. But he said something about the Raiders taking a step back. Does that mean McDaniels is gone?
I think if they do finish last, I think he's done. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
Well, has anybody heard anything about? Because I know the latest I heard, and this was like probably a month ago, was that there were still some questions about Garoppolo and his health. Has he passed that, or like wasn't it? Yeah,
Didn't hear
Marco. I don't know if you have, or Brad, if you have your computer right there. You know, like because I thought it was a foot issue, and he still hadn't even passed his physical yet when they signed him to his contract, and that's why the fans were like, well, "What the hell? You let Carr go and you brought on a guy." Oh, Ben just dropped off again.
Oh no.
He's been canceled.
Yeah. So I don't know. You know, I guess that to me that would be the. I mean, part of me would like to. I was going to actually see about having our friend Chris Mosley on, who's been on before about talking about the Raiders. He's our big Raiders fan in the group, but yeah, I for them to let Carr go and then bring in a guy who wasn't even fully healthy. I mean, it's very Raider of them. I'm sure Marco would agree with that. But so Marco, why don't we go with you next? With because I know TJ's usually the one that has maybe he hasn't had time to really research this one today. But I remember, was it last week or 2 weeks ago that you had like a whole thing, and then we kind of glossed over it. So Marco, let me get yours, and then we'll go to TJ and then finish up with Ben.
So Jimmy G has the addendum G in his contract, so he signed a waiver so he could pass the physical. So I guess we should keep an eye on his foot and see who the backup quarterback is and how much money he's going to lose.
Brian Hoyer is the backup, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I heard them talking about that.
Brian Hoyer?
I thought so.
Or Brian Hoyer's kid, AJ Dillon's son.
Who was the kid that came? Who was the kid that came in? Who was the kid that came in for Carr last year that looked all right?
Who the hell was that?
Stidham?
Stidham. Where's he at?
Yeah.
He's still got to be on the roster.
I think he left. I think.
Yeah, he is gone. And you're right. It is Garoppolo, Hoyer, Aiden O'Connell. He's a rookie. And Chase Garbers, who's also a rookie.
Can we say number one pick right here?
Yeah. So the Raiders aren't going anywhere. Yeah. The Broncos, I think, pose the biggest threat to Kansas City. They have a stifling defense. Their secondary is going to be hard to throw on. And then the Chargers are going to start clicking. But then what happens is the calendar switches to November. The Chargers forget how to play. The end of their season and going from December to January, the Chargers play the Broncos, the Raiders, the Bills, the Broncos again, and then they finish the season off against the Chiefs. And so the Chargers are going to fall apart at the end. And it'll just be another AFC West championship for the Chiefs. So I'll go Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders. Okay. Yeah, I don't. It's boring for those that don't love the AFC West and the Chiefs. I hope the Chargers have. I hope the Chargers have. What it takes to stay a little bit more competitive. Chargers Chiefs games are fun, right? It's first to 50 wins. They don't play the Chiefs until October, so they should still be hot. And then they get a practice game against the Bears. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the AFC West is a top-heavy team.
Let me jump off that then, Marco. If you think if the Broncos are fighting for second in that division right there, you think they're a wild card team?
Yeah. I think so.
I hope you're wrong. I can't stand Russell Wilson. Okay, TJ, let's go. And I know my fellow Wisconsinites are going to look at me and go, but he was a Badger. He was a Badger for 1 year, people. Okay, 1 year.
One great year, sir.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But was CC Sabathia a Brewer? You don't think of him for one great year. Exactly. Or, he had a great, he did some great things for the Brewers, and I'm very thankful. But you don't think of CC Sabathia.
Not thankful enough.
Apparently not. Yeah, apparently not. Oh. All right, TJ, go ahead. I've interrupted you like 3 times now. Go ahead. Give us your take on the AFC West.
Well, I feel like it's the Chiefs to win every year. Yeah. There's really nobody that I feel like could really to step with them this year. The one thing I am kind of interested on, and I guess it's just me being a defensive-minded coach, is the Tyree Wilson, Max Crosby, like the 1-2 on the outside. I want to see how that works because Max Crosby's been proving himself recently, and I don't know if it's the fact that he's fitting pretty well with that the tenacious Raider defense, as they call it, or maybe he's just, found his place to where he can just, cause havoc. So I'm kind of excited to see what those two do. Outside of that, I think they're going to be dead last. I mean, there's really not much that anybody's looking forward to. I mean, they got that tight end from Notre Dame that Dallas should have picked up. Didn't pick him up. I don't know why. Mayor or something.
Yep.
For the top, the three, I think it's going to be the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos. I do think the Broncos will kind of sneak into a wild card, but I feel like, the Chiefs and the Chargers are the two teams that I've always kind of watched on that AFC West side of the division, because it always seems like those are the two that fight it to the end of the season to win that division. And I think honestly, the Chiefs will definitely win it, but I think the Chargers will give them a little run for their money.
Okay. All right, Ben, let's finish up with you, and then we'll go to our AEW blood and guts talk.
All right. Well, blood and guts in this division as well, I guess. So I think that we're overall, I'm going to disagree with Marco, surprise, and come in with the Chargers a little bit. I think that right now what we have is Justin Herbert is that guy. That's worth mentioning. You've got a guy who's got more weapons again on that offense as well. A few years ago, was their defense that was hot, their offense stunk. Now it's kind of the other way around again. It's an interesting team to watch, but I think the Chargers are going to be. They're too good to keep doing this. And so I'm looking at this saying that the Broncos still have to deal with a new coach in Sean Payton who's going to do great things in Denver. I'm not doubting that at all. The defense is phenomenal, but the defense was great last year and the team still sucked. So I kind of want to see what they do with their running backs especially. There's been a lot of rumors of moves, and I mean, Javonte Williams, is he the guy or not? It's kind of been debated now. Can he stay healthy? So, I mean, the Chiefs, I don't think run away with this thing. I think that you have a fight down the line, but the Chiefs do win it in the end. I'm not crazy, but I think that overall it would not be a complete shock to me though either if the Chargers, pun intended, do pull out some sort of magic late in the season and kind of find that little bit of a surprise for somebody. But I agree with the group in general. Raiders are dead last. It's going to be that pass rush and the Josh Jacobs show if he plays, and then that's it. So it's a bad team. The Broncos are going to be the defense, and try to find some offense. And then the Chargers and the Chiefs are going to be all offense, and if they can form any kind of defense, it's going to be one nasty squad. So, yeah, man, I think that the Chiefs, the one thing I'll call out for them, I do think their running game, I know it's the Chiefs, is suspect. Pacheco has one season. One. You still have Clyde Edwards-Helaire who's been kind of discarded by the team more or less at this point, kind of just an afterthought. The Chiefs need to have that run game some size, shape, or form. It has to come from somewhere. So, I mean, I think that Pacheco's season was a surprise, but he's not shocking anyway this year. James Robinson did that with Jacksonville a couple years ago, and now he's not even employed. So, looking at this, I say I want to see the Chiefs can run the ball and can they play defense. But yeah, that's kind of where I land.
That's one thing.
Chiefs always play defense. They don't play defense until December. That's how they are every year.
They play defense after week 6.
Yeah.
You guys.
I agree, Marco. I agree. They always tinker and play with things until it comes down to the wire at the end of the year, and then they get it in gear. I will never. Spagnuolo knows what he's doing, man. I'm telling you,
that
guy.
But I got to ask, Marco, where am I wrong? Tell me where I'm wrong. The running game.
I'll tell you where you're wrong. You're wrong because you're looking at the wrong room. The running back room is going to be fine. It's the wide receivers that I'm worried about. And the fact that they didn't get D-Hop, they're really lacking that veteran leadership. They got too many young guns out there that need to know the idiosyncrasies of being a wide receiver. These DBs in that conference are all pro. And I don't know if is Tony going to stay healthy? Is Sky Moore going to be able to catch the fastball? They got a lot of young guys that I'm not sure I'm confident with. Mahomes will put it on your face mask. You got to catch it. You got to be where you need to be. And I'm worried about Kelsey's back. That was an issue during the Super Bowl. He's out there goofballing around and having a great offseason and doing all his things, but I'm worried about he's getting older. You get old fast in the NFL, and they don't have a veteran wide receiver that can make those 8-yard catches and get those first downs that they need to get when Kelsey's getting double covered and if the running game isn't there. So,
all right, let's move on now to our AEW segment of the show. We're bringing in Adam. Ben, I'll let you kind of take this away because you said you didn't get to watch it last night, but you kind of recapped it today or whatever. So why don't you go ahead and lead it? Adam was there last night, so it's kind of the first time we've had somebody on who has just been at an event. So go ahead.
All right, so Adam, I got to ask you this. First things first, Jungle Boy's entrance. What's your take?
Garbage.
Really? Come on.
Please, someone get this man an actual theme song.
Aaron Rodgers
Off the show.
You ticked him off that much, Adam.
Wow. I didn't exactly think that was a hot take just by the reaction in the arena last night. But damn. No, the people around me that I was talking to, it's like, what the heck is this? Also, you all can hear things a lot better. I don't know if this is a WWE versus an AEW thing. The acoustics in the arena versus a WWE show that I've been at, I could barely hear the entrance music. I could barely hear anything else going on. So maybe WWE is just more key of the in-arena acoustics to try feeling other things. I couldn't hear the mashup with the MJF Adam Cole theme that well. Like, we're all looking around like, where's this boom thing? We couldn't hear it. And it's not like I was up in the bleachers either, right? Mm-hmm. Like there's no bad seat at the Garden, and we could barely hear crap. So I apologize I ticked you off that badly.
No,
but like
he had to go grab a shot quick.
Apparently,
it's the AR-12 internet out here in Green Bay. But so I kind of when I heard it, I first thought about Imperium, and then I went right to like Macho Man with Pomp and Circumstance. Kind of having that feel of that classic music hitting that spot. I think it's an
Dang, is it?
Ouch.
Man, what is it, storming up there, Aaron, or what?
I know it's not that I know of.
Can someone go tell him to hold his antenna properly?
Yeah.
Maybe he needs to sit on the roof for the rest of this podcast.
His wife needs to be helping him out a little more.
So
okay,
I'll take over.
Go ahead.
What was your take on that Jungle Boy hook match?
He's Hollywood Jack Perry, and a lot of people in the arena were saying it last night. My friend was there next to the people. They was like, yeah, he's Hollywood Jack Perry. Get him a better theme song. He's not Gunther. He doesn't have that kind of presence. He, with all due respect to some of the wrestlers out there, like Daniel Garcia, who is a phenomenal professional wrestler, he has the charisma of a freaking doornail. He's getting better, but again, that takes time. And Jack Perry, with all due respect to him, he doesn't do it for me. It was pure heel stuff. He won on a pure heel move. And just, I will say, to the credit, I love the Blackout theme. No graphics, no nothing. That's how you come home with that. And I was kind of wondering, I'm like, he's really coming out to this? I heard the music, I'm like, really? And then on the monitor, we could see exactly, what was going on. I'm like, okay, he's burying the Jungle Boy gimmick. He's taken a step, but he really needs to prove it in this heel run, and his character has needed it for a while.
But I think that's what the match did for him. That's kind of where, how he won that match is what you need. He beat Hook's streak. These are all...
Which wasn't talked about. I haven't heard that talked about once at all.
It was on the broadcast. They said it right away in the broadcast. That was one of the first ones they hit. And so it's like, this is sacrificing Hook's undefeated run so far in AEW. You also have that coupled with, again, Jack Perry putting Jungle Boy to sleep. I'm looking forward to the angles we get with this. I think that this is I'm intrigued. So, but moving forward a little bit though, MJF and Adam Cole. So, if you guys didn't see this, we started with a dance off on Wednesday Night Wrestling.
We were laughing our asses off, and we had the confused looks on our faces like, what is happening? We had no idea in the arena what was going on. Because, again, we couldn't hear commentary.
Right.
We couldn't hear anything going on in the ring. We had no clue what was happening with that dance-off other than we were laughing. And then we're like, oh, okay, now we're getting into the match. It did absolutely nothing.
So then looking at the end of the match, you have the moment, right? Adam Cole has a belt in his hands, and MJF gets pissed.
I really wish they didn't openly tease it. It would have been so much better for MJF's character if they just continued. They're in the tag match in a couple weeks, and he screws him over then, thus setting up the all-in or all-out, whatever main event you want for the title. It just shouldn't have teased it.
I think it's going a different direction. This is real. I'll kind of counter you a little bit. Looking at what I saw, I think Kyle's healthy. Roddy's there. I think we're looking at a chance for whether it be Roddy and Kyle challenge if somehow they do let MJF.
They will.
And Adam Cole get the tag team belts. And I think that's where Adam Cole turns on MJF. And we see that next faction for AEW forming with that, where we want to call them the new.
They were already the undisputed elite, so.
Yeah, that's not going to stick, though. The whole elite thing is just kind of worn out. So I think we're looking at something else here. But either way, I think this is where that was interesting. Now, the main event, let's talk about that because that's the Brit match is nothing. So
I had no idea why that was even there. I mean, my friend was happy because he was happy to see her because, professional wrestling dentist. Other than that, it was nothing more than a squash match and maybe to get her back on some sort of momentum. The main event was absolutely bananas. I'm like, they're going to give us a 1 hour match, and I hope I'm awake for it. I hope I'm interested for it. They didn't. So I saw from other people that clearly on the broadcast, you all saw the rules. We didn't. The rules never flashed for us anywhere in the arena. I'm literally scrolling through trying to find blood and guts rules because I had no idea what was going on. So none of us said AEW's production was the greatest, and I've knocked them for it. But I had no idea in the rules, but the arena went absolutely nuts for Ibushi. Ibushi, when I heard he was announced, was the reason I decided to say, you know what? I'm getting tickets and going. I was on the fence. I'm like, Pac's back. And like, oh, Ibushi's going to be the, I'm going.
Yeah.
And the arena lost its mind. Like, I don't know if it came through or not, but that arena was popping. It was so nice to see Ibushi in an AEW ring. He didn't do much in the match at all that was impactful. He looked like he was just there. Just kind of disappointing.
Well, I think that you also saw both him and Takeshi coming out last to try. I think you're saving that talent that's not AEW's talent. And so you let them take a few less bumps, a few less risk for injury. But we talked about, 3 weeks ago, how much longer can Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley do matches like this without ending their careers prematurely?
They're nuts, especially Moxley. He's a nut. Who came up with the better nails?
It had to be Mox, right? It screams Mox.
We all lost it. We're like, okay, please stop. I'm thinking to myself, are those nails? I thought they were spikes. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, they're actual nails. And it was just absolutely insane. For a blood and guts match, there wasn't as much blood as I thought there was going to be. But with the banhammer coming down from Warner Brothers a week prior,
right?
It is what it is there. I mean, it's not like they're banning it completely, but you need to get permission. Clearly, they got a permission for a bed of freaking spikes, which is something I've never seen before in any kind of hardcore anything you ever see in professional wrestling.
Yeah.
But also, it was, you all didn't see this, but so to peek behind the curtain, when AEW went off the air, there was a promo clearly for the fans that were there in attendance. It was to be able to end the feud. Kenny went out and said he respected the BCC. Pac had left. Kester has left. They all shook hands, respected each other. That kind of made me see, so like, we're going to see starting next week, this is over. And they're finally going to go their separate ways, which would be nice. But it stinks that Danielson wasn't in the match. I'm happy we saw Ibushi, but apparently now his arm is worse than they initially thought. So he may not even be at All In and All Out, which would be a real shame.
So I guess going forward here, what storyline are you watching the most as we try and hit, as we build up to these big end of summer events? What's the hottest story in your mind?
MJF and Adam Cole. And then you need to pay off Omega versus Callis. You need to pay that off. You have Omega versus Takeshita, and Callis is trapped by the Elite in the ring, and Kenny finally gets his revenge. I mean, I don't care if you pay that off at All In or All Out. That's been teased now for too long, and that payoff has to come.
Okay, fair enough. And how do you want them to pay off Adam Cole MJF storyline?
MJF can't lose that title until January of next year, when the company can do insane things, because his real life contract will be up. And I've already said it. Let MJF go to the Rumble with the AEW Championship. Let the storyline continue that he hasn't signed with AEW. He took the belt away. In reality, he signed a 5-year deal.
That won't happen with Vince still running the show, though, will it?
I know. Can we just get Vince to go away for a couple of months, please? Let Triple H go back to doing his thing, please.
Hashtag Mickey James.
Yes, just sign on this. You can get him to go away for a little while.
And see, that's the other wrinkle in the realm of both AEW and WWE is MJF. If MJF has signed with AEW, he's not taking the belt off Roman. If WWE signs MJF, do they put the rocket on his back and have him be the one that defeats Roman?
I think it's a fun ploy, but MJF does not survive WWE, not because of him.
Because of Vince?
He'd be booked terribly. He can't be himself. Half of his character is basically banned on WWE television.
Maybe more than half the character.
So
excuse me, maybe more than half.
Right. So I think that's part of what makes MJF so fun to watch. He literally can't do if he goes there. I think that I would enjoy seeing him show up maybe in the Tokyo Dome. Just saying. Like London Wrestle Kingdom. Tease us that way.
Yes, please somehow let MJF go to the company in kayfabe he hates to go to. Please let that happen.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it.
That would be amazing.
To me, that's realistic. To me, that's a situation that can completely happen. That would just be that moment of like, okay, especially still carrying the strap.
Yeah.
I'm not signed. I got the strap. Here I am.
Go do a bunch of indie shows with the strap. So
absolutely. I mean, AEW's shown a willingness to let their guys do that while they're under contract. So I think it's not crazy to think about. So no, I think it's a very good work that I'm here for. I think that MJF's contract in reality is much longer than any of us know. And I think that he is good.
I think he's already signed the extension and got the actual money he's deserved.
Yep.
So,
all right. Well, thanks, Adam. We got to get moving on to the next. We got another guest coming on here, but maybe we'll definitely have to have you on. And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna keep working on that. There's plans for that wrestling podcast, so you guys can just talk for a half hour to an hour or 5 hours. I mean, I really don't care.
I can keep going.
I know you. I know you can. I know. That's what I'm saying. We got to get you on for your own show. Okay. All right. Take care, man. Have a great weekend.
Adam.
Have a good one, boys.
Talk to you next week.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right. Now we're gonna Troy, I'll let you introduce this next guest here.
Yeah, so this is a guest we've had at least once, maybe even twice. I think we've had him on Stay Tuned with Troy and Howie now, and this is Mr. Jeremy Rowe from the Jeremy Rowe Band. And
Hey,
you find him
what's
at
going on,
Jeremy
Jeremy?
Rowe
Hey,
Music,
Jeremy.
and this is the creator of what we're hoping to make our theme song here, the Dad Bod song, right here on Dads with Bacon, talking sports. So, hey, Jeremy, thanks for joining us, man.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
So,
Yeah.
Aaron, you wanna lead off with any questions here for Mr. Rowe?
Well, yeah, no, thanks for Jeremy. Thanks for joining us. I know we've been trying to have you on for a couple weeks, and then I think Troy, Mr. Hotshot over here gets a free tickets to Luke Bryan or something like that. So I mean, he's got priorities and all that. But no, I appreciate you coming on. So tell us a little bit just behind the writing and the creation of the Dad. I mean, we kind of know what it's about, but explain it to us a little bit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was, I kind of just had the idea because, like most men, I was just struggling back and forth with, am I going to get my ass in the gym this year, or am I going to keep eating pizza and drinking beer or whatever? Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. And so I called up my buddy. I was like, hey, what do you think about this song idea? Just talking about dad bods. And at this moment in time, I was just in full acceptance mode. I'm like, I'm just gonna go all out, man, and do it. Just screw it, man. I'm not trying to get in shape for nobody. And
Tacos and tequila.
Yeah, hell yeah, exactly.
Hell
So I just went all in. And he's like, yeah, man, let's write it. And Jake Arthur is my buddy and main co-writer, and he just got a kick out of it. And so if Jake thinks that one of my ideas is good, then we're running with it. And so we just started dinking around and came up with the Dad Bod song. So that's kind of where it came from. Yeah, and I'm still on the fence too, about eating ice cream, or should I slow down?
Well, now, do you have how many kids do you have?
6.
Are you really?
Yeah. So
holy
blended
crap!
family.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
And that makes it hard too. Not only just with just the sheer volume of kids and scheduling and all that kind of stuff, but they want to eat different things that I want to eat, and it's so easy to just snatch scraps off their plates because they never finish a plate.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so even for a while there, it was kind of a thing. My wife would take scraps from these 3, and then I'd take scraps from these couple over here. Yeah, almost never had to make ourselves a plate. But yeah, so I have 3 from a previous marriage, and then she has 2, and then we have 1 together. So
nice.
That's how we got 6. Yeah.
Cool.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You're in Oklahoma, correct?
Oklahoma, correct?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought so. So closer out your way there, fellas, than over my way.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, it's kind of touch on what you were just saying though about what they eat. I'll tell a quick story here, and I know these guys will tell you I like to ramble, but I'll make it quick.
No worries.
When my daughter was about 2 or 3, she was having some behavior issues, and instead of taking her to a doctor right away and getting her on meds, we took her to this chiropractor who works with kids, and she also is big into, like, she has these tests that she can give, like blood tests that will come back and show what your kids are sensitive to in terms of
food enzymes and stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it came back. She was like, according to this chiropractor, well, your daughter's sensitive to eggs. She's sensitive to dairy. She's sensitive to, pretty much everything.
Wow.
And so I grew up lactose intolerant, but that was about it for me. So, it wasn't that big of a deal. And so my wife immediately goes into this mode of, okay, we gotta rearrange our diets, and I was like, whoa, honey,
This is
we
about
gotta
her.
rearrange her diet, yes, but
Yeah.
and so we're looking at different foods, and one of them was and I'm trying to think, but they had a special kind of pizza.
Okay.
And this pizza was so bad. I was like, I said to my wife, I'm like, honey, I love you. I love our daughter, but I'm not eating this. I'm
Is it
sorry.
the
I
cauliflower
will eat. What was it?
Is it the cauliflower crust?
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. And the cheese was awful on it. I was like, no,
Oh,
I'm sorry. I can't do it. And finally we just, our daughter's fine. She actually, she kind of grew out of it or whatever, but thank God, because I was like, I'm not eating that. I'm not eting that stuff, Anyway, so, well, hey, real
That's
quick,
awesome.
we have your video, the Dad Bod video on YouTube. You mind if we play
Right on.
a little bit of it? Okay, so we're gonna
Go for it.
Okay, now again, let's see. Got share screen and then Chrome tab.
Okay, go
Chrome tab, right, guys? There you go. Okay, we got it. We got it.
Talk us through it, Aaron. Talk us through it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, here we go.
This shirt don't fit like it used to, and I need another notch on my belt. If you're looking for a six-pack, muscled up kind of man, better look somewhere else. Yeah, I can stand to lose a few pounds, but for right now, I'm working You know my dad bought, oh my God, ain't gotta be hungry to eat. Hot dog, it's a full-time job, living good when you're with me. I like a cold beer with my pizza. I like my tacos and
So who are some of your bandmates?
So lead guitarist right there drinking that beer, Casey, and then bass player right there, Christian Pearson, Jonathan Castillo. He's the drummer eating that hot dog right there. I love those guys.
And you gotta love too. And I was gonna say this as well. He has a few Jeep and / off-road songs as well for a lot of the off-road family. And I seen in the background there's some Jeeps sitting there, and those are yours, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, we stacked them up, and I bent my track bar that day on that.
Oh,
stack.
jeez.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But if you guys get the chance to look those videos up as well. He does Jeep Girl, he does Jeep Thing, and the Off-Road Family. So those are really cool songs as well. And he built quite a little.
Like having done this song with this group of guys, do you guys collectively do other and more content together, or do you have like a band name or?
Yeah, it's the Jeremy Rowe Band is what we travel under, and we put out an album back in October last year. All songs that have nothing to do with Jeeps and off-roads and stuff. But yeah, these guys go on the road with me, and we're fixing to hit the next weekend, and then we're kind of hooked up to. We all just kind of met each other in different places over the last couple of years, and just clicked. And when I was looking for a band, I asked each of them individually, if they wanted to take a crack at this thing with me, and they all said yes. So here we are.
And last time we had Jeremy on too, I want to give him kudos when he was on Stay Tuned with Troy and Howie with us. And there are a lot of times, guys that are frontmen, whatever, and they just have like a backing band, and there's really no reason. You just go by your first name. You don't have to have the Jeremy Rowe Band in there, whatever. You can just take all the royalties and all that kind of fun stuff. But this guy here, loves his bandmates that much. He decides to change because at that point he was just going by Jeremy Rowe. He changed. Now it's the Jeremy Rowe Band, just so he can get his guys involved and they can get a piece of the cut as well. So I love that about Jeremy. It's very cool. So.
Well, I got to update you on that.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Yeah, they're all fired. First of all, so I talked to a manager that was just kind of wanting to give us some, some tips on how to progress. And he was just saying hey, here's from what I see from the outside looking in. And he said you built up this following under Jeremy Rowe, and then you put out an album with a completely brand new name. Nobody knows you under this name. He's kind of shot yourself in the foot, because nobody's hearing it, and they kind of confused our following. So he encouraged us actually to just go ahead and move that album under Jeremy Rowe, and he's it's just self-implied that when Chris Stapleton comes to town, his band's coming with him.
Sure,
that kind of thing. And I was all right, I can see that. And the money thing and all that can be worked out, but I saw his point and I pitched it to the guys. And they're yeah, let's just move it back to Jeremy Rowe, so that way when we put out new songs,
that makes sense.
More people are going to see them instead of trying to build up this other name. So
that's is it just something where maybe you can do what Tom Petty did with the Heartbreakers or whatever? Can you just do Jeremy Rowe and the Dad Bods, or I don't know.
Yeah, we've actually gone through that, and what's funny about that is I'm the most dad bod of the group, right? Yeah. You saw the video; these guys are scrawny, right? But we've gone through, oh my gosh, hundreds of names to try to come up with something like that, and we just can't land on anything that we like. So I think for the time being, which right now it's just been such a slow process because it's a lot of work to move an entire catalog from one artist's name to another. So even though it's me, I own both of them. But anyway, a lot of back end stuff. But I think we're going to end up just merging it all under one. So that way. Music is easier to find too. We've got so many people that tell us, "Oh, we can't find that song. We can't find this or that." It's
that one was Jeremy Rowe, not Jeremy Rowe Band, right? I got you.
Yeah, it's been a huge headache, but learning curve. It's all part of the business. So
yeah, that makes sense when you break it down that way.
Yeah. So now I had no idea, but I'm thankful for that manager. Being hey, dude, this is kind of where you're screwing up.
So now, since this is a sports show, Jeremy, did you grow up in Oklahoma or?
Yeah. So I was born in Texas and then raised in Oklahoma. And
Okay, so who are you rooting? Are you a sports fan or not?
I'm really not. My family is all into Dallas Cowboys, and my mom's a big, I want to say A&M fan. I couldn't even tell you. And then,
TJ,
yeah.
TJ, don't listen, man. Don't listen. Yeah.
My wife and her family, they're all Steelers fans, and but I could care less because I grew up just focused on music and playing music, and I never played sports, and so I just never got passionate about it. So to me, it's a running joke. Everybody knows anytime we're there to watch the game, I'm just there to eat. That's the only reason. You got wings and nachos and pizza.
Yeah, some wings
I'm
and brews.
there.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Have you got?
Oh, go ahead, Troy. Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, have you gotten a chance to do like an anthem or anything at a sports game or anything like that?
I've done a few, but none to write home to mom about.
Okay.
Now, are your bandmates sports fans? Are you like the only one that's not, or?
If they are, they haven't like overly projected it,
Interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, my lead player, he wears a 89ers hat, but I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even know who that is. But every once in a while, we're on the road, like they're like, "Oh yeah, nice hat."
The 89ers? I don't know who that
89ers. I don't know. I'll have to ask him.
89ers. That
There's
actually
Marco
sounds
quick to the
familiar. Yeah,
keyboard.
Marco's going. Marco's going to figure it out.
Somebody go to the Google.
I believe it's a Oklahoma City minor league baseball team.
Oh, okay.
there you
See?
go. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, and I live here. I don't even know.
You're too busy dodging tornadoes.
They're obviously not around anymore. But
they were in the Pacific Coast League back in the day.
Did how's weather out there? Did you guys get any bad storms this year yet?
I mean, we've had about the normal amount, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And people are always like kind of shocked when they see the count of how many tornadoes Oklahoma has had in a season, and they're like, "Did you see any?" And I'm like, "No, they were nowhere close to me." Most of them were in some remote field somewhere, and
Thank
nobody
goodness.
really knows about it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I remember. Were you doing a live the one day or something when there was a tornado in your area and people were getting freaked out that you were like, "Can you just go in the shelter already?"
Yeah, that was actually a close call, and so that was last year, I want to say.
Okay.
And yeah, because Casey and I were working on the album that night, and doing a live, I think. And the next thing you know, his wife's coming out there like, "Do y'all not hear the sirens?" And we're in a soundproof room, so we didn't hear them. And she's like, "It's time to go now." And so he's like saving our files and stuff real fast, and we're jumping down in the tornado shelter. But that's the first time I've been in a shelter in a decade or so.
Wow! Wow!
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So usually, like, you can watch them on the TV and know whether or not it's time to go.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
but yeah.
My wife actually sent me out into one one time. Yeah, because there was a little stream of water coming down from our window in our basement. She's like, "You gotta, I know what the problem is." I said, "Well, I know what the problem is, and it's the fact that the trees are like going sideways. I see that, honey. No, go out there and fix that. I'm not going anywhere. I don't know what you want me to,
That one tornado in Green Bay, like every 20, 30 years.
We were in Pulaski. Ben. Okay, it's totally different.
Sorry, every 15 years. My bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what? Jeremy, before we let you go, though, I think you were saying something about you have some dates coming up. Do you want to kind of go over those real quick?
I was just gonna say that too. Yeah.
We'll try to remember off the top of my head. So we've got a show next weekend in Greenville, Texas, and it's called Stock the Station, and it's a benefit for that county's fire department, volunteer fire department. And they're having like an off-road show, and they call them like show and shines, where you just kind of come and show off your off-road vehicles and stuff. So that's that one, and then the following weekend we'll be in Toledo, Ohio, for yet another Jeep event called the Toledo Jeep Fest, and looking forward to that one.
It's a pretty big one, right?
Yeah, it's huge. I think 70,000 people expected in attendance. Yeah, it's incredible. If any of y'all are close to Toledo, Ohio, you should come out. And then the end of August, we'll be in Tennessee in the Smoky Mountains there in Pigeon Forge for another Jeep event. Go figure. I think that's the rest of our year. It's just these big Jeep events, but that one's also massive. There's basically like 3 really huge Jeep events, and those are 2 of them. And that's Pigeon Forge, and that's the last weekend of August. We'll be out there playing 3 days in a row on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the 24th, 25th, 26th. And then from there, I kind of lose track of where we're at. We're all over the place, and you can find if you're interested. Yeah, if you're interested, you can find those shows online at jeremyrowe-music.com/shows, and that'll show you our calendar.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Jeremy, and thank you for allowing us to use that song here. Once Aaron gets all the details figured out and gets it loaded to the intro here.
yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for putting it out there. And I love the name of the show, Dads with Bacon. That's awesome.
That's that guy right there. That's Mr. Bacon up top there. So
right on, Mr. Bacon himself.
That's my nickname. So yeah.
Hey,
anyway,
do you get your bacon in bulk? Is what I want to know.
No.
Come on, man.
I know. I should. We're trying to get a bacon sponsor. You do all the cheap stuff. We need to get a bacon sponsor here.
Bro, I tell you, we
bacon
need one
sponsor
here.
helps with the dad bod too, right?
As many kids as we feed around here, we need some sponsors. Oh my gosh. We'll start working on that together. Like, hey, I need some bacon, and this guy needs some bacon too.
All
right, Jeremy. Thanks again.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Really
appreciate it,
man. Thanks for coming in, dude.
Thank y'all.
Take care, buddy.
You have a good night.
Bye-bye.
You too.
Jeremy. That's cool.
That was cool, man. That was really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So
he's a great dude. He's a real great dude.
Yeah, I'm surprised though, being in Oklahoma, that he wasn't like a Sooner fan or something. That's always interesting. Maybe it's just me when I meet guys that aren't into sports at all. It's like wow, really?
Not even
imagine
like badminton or
not even pickleball. No pickleball. No.
Aaron's like music. Wait, but there's music sports also.
As long as he doesn't do Beatle covers or anything like that, we're fine.
Anyway.
Here we go. I did it. I said it.
Here we go.
Minute, Troy.
Don't be
It's about to go
I'm
down.
not even the biggest Beatles supporter, but I just can't get behind your take of the hot take on your Beatles. I don't get it.
Sorry.
All right, where are we at on the planning sheet? Do we have anything to wrap up here yet?
Yeah, we need your picks, Troy, for your Women's World Cup.
Picks. Yeah, your picks, your predictions for the Women's World Cup. Marco, do you want to bring that up again, or your?
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. I just lost my tab, but Women's World Cup started last night, guys, and we made our picks. And Troy and Ben, we need yours.
Okay, so what are we picking here?
So what we have is we're going to go through the groups real quick. I'll give you the names, and you give me your two teams that you have coming out of the group.
Okay.
So Group A, and a game has already been played because it started last night.
Okay.
I won't tell you any of those outcomes, but Group A consists of New Zealand, Switzerland, the Philippines, and Norway. Troy, give me your 2 winners coming out of Group A.
Switzerland. And who was the other one? Philippines.
Do you want the betting odds, Troy, on the whole shebang for him? Or
is there betting odds on it? I guess there is. There's betting on everything, right? Like, yeah. Give me Switzerland and New Zealand.
All right, Ben, who you got?
Yeah, that's Norway and New Zealand are taking those spots.
Norway and New Zealand. All right, cool. Group B, very popular group featuring Australia, Canada, Nigeria, and Ireland.
I like those first 2. Australia and Canada.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I actually agree. Yeah, that's correct.
All right.
Canada's usually pretty strong. I do know that. So.
And then Group C consists of Costa Rica, Japan, Spain, and Zambia. Costa Rica, Japan, Spain, and Zambia.
I'll take Spain. I want Japan and Costa Rica. Let's go with Japan.
I think that's what everybody picked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Ben, what do you got?
Well, I'm the same, but I want to give you some context here real quick. Costa Rica is 50,000 to 1 to win it all, just for reference.
Oh, geez. I would have thought they would have been better than that.
So did I.
So they're brutal. Yeah.
How'd they even get in?
That's how
Well,
bad everybody else is.
it's all about your region, right? So yeah, no, it's
They
Yeah.
got in because there's only like 32 countries that have women's teams. That's pretty much
Yeah.
how they got in. So,
for shame, sir, for shame.
well, I'm just saying. Hey,
Anyway.
Did the
Yeah.
Saudi team make it?
They may have.
I was just kidding because I didn't think they'd actually let
They
women
did
play
not.
soccer there.
No,
Correct,
they
it's
didn't.
not Saudi.
Morocco has a team though.
They do.
Okay.
But Group D has China, England, Denmark, and Haiti.
I like England and Denmark there.
Yeah, so did everybody else.
Yeah, you're correct. Haiti is 15,000 to 1. And China is also 15,000 to 1.
Oh, geez. That should be a pretty clear-cut group there, you would imagine.
Yeah,
Group E, America's group. So we have the Netherlands, USA, Portugal, and Vietnam. Set your alarms because Vietnam and USA kick off at 2 a.m. Central Time.
Oh, nice.
Uh,
I mean,
DVR
US
score.
Yeah, US will come out of that group. Well, I mean, whether they win or not, I don't know, but they'll definitely come out of that group. So I'll take US and I'll go with the Dutch there, the Netherlands.
I was going to say, I think they're showing that game though tomorrow night on Fox at like 8 o'clock or something like
yeah,
that.
they're replaying it
Eight,
later.
or
on
8
tomorrow
8
night.
o'clock our Central Time, but
Yeah.
or something. But
Again, you're on the safe bets, and I agree with you.
All right. Again, yeah, nobody. I picked Portugal, and so did TJ.
Portugal's actually so of the teams, Portugal is the highest odds team I have missing going to the round of 16. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th. And as far as tied for 14th in overall odds for the tournament. But
England's going to make a run, right? England is probably the toughest match to USA. England and Canada, I think, are the toughest.
England and Germany by odds alone. England, Germany, Spain, France, Australia, Sweden, Netherlands, Canada, Brazil, Japan, Norway, Denmark. Is the rundown. Then I actually went through. Sorry, let's do what you're doing first. My bad.
Well, Group F, we got Brazil, France, Jamaica, and Panama. Brazil, France, Jamaica, Panama. No games played yet.
I'll go Jamaica and France there.
France. Ben?
France and I have them listed here. 1 second. Sorry. So what are the other ones in the group again? France and who?
Brazil, Panama.
Yeah, Brazil. So Brazil's that one easily. By the way, Troy, to give you a little insight, that's a 50,000 to 1 bet on Jamaica to win it all.
Nice. I like them odds.
Yeah, Brad.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
No,
Brad
okay.
had
So
11
what I
bucks
did,
last week
go ahead and
putting
finish
in
your
bet.
picks. I'm about to tell you guys about what I did last week.
Uh-oh. Hold my beer.
No.
All right, last group for Group G: Sweden, South Africa, Italy, and Argentina.
Italy and Argentina.
Italy and Argentina.
What are my odds on that one, Ben?
Argentina's a long shot, 30,000 to 1.
Who you got coming out of that group, Ben?
I had Italy and Sweden.
Yep, that's a popular pick. And the final group is not showing up on my thing.
Germany, Morocco, Colombia, South Korea.
Yes.
I think Germany will definitely be one of those. So I'll take Germany and
Morocco, Colombia, South Korea.
yeah, let's go Colombia. They're
Colombia.
probably like 85,000 to 1, but whatever.
They're like the worst odds.
15,000, not too bad.
What is it?
Yeah, I got South
Plus
Korea instead of
15,000.
yeah.
You got South Korea coming out of there with
I
Germany
do. Yeah, and Germany.
and Germany. Cool. Right.
All right. So what I did is on on my FanDuel.
Oh
is
no.
I went to all the long shots
Oh no.
in every group. And I'm like, you know what? Every single one of them were plus 10,000. I put $1 on them to make the knockout round. So if any of them make it to the knockout round, I win $100.
Get out.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Actually,
So how many groups are there? 8?
There's 8.
Yeah.
So it cost you $8 for a chance at 100.
To reach the quarterfinals, which is.
I was just going to ask
what the knockout round: South Africa, Morocco, Vietnam, Costa Rica, Panama, Argentina, Haiti, and Philippines.
And you
the worst of the worst.
And you were sober?
$1 each. It was a $1 bet on every single one of them. $1.
So when is this? When are these groups supposed to wrap up, and when does the tournament start per se?
It started yesterday.
No. But when does the tournament play start? Like when all the groups are all the group winners are
in
out?
about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Is it 2 weeks? Yeah. Do they play?
Are we going to break it down again at that point and kind of make picks again?
Yeah, we'll be talking about it every Thursday until it's done.
They play round robin, don't they? In the group play. Okay.
I will gladly text my predictions from Hawaii for that purpose. That's well worth it.
You could probably live tweet the games, right? In Hawaii, they're on the
You'll be pretty
I'll
close.
be close. Yeah.
Yeah.
What you watching, TJ?
Up.
The Women's World Cup.
Yellowstone, Longmire, what you got?
No, I'm actually in a really big pitching duel with my buddy on MLB The Show.
I thought you were really
all
into
right.
the
All
World
right.
Cup
So
there.
let's wrap it up, and so TJ can focus on his MLB The Show there.
He's got to get his cutter in there.
Brett, are you still streaming Diablo, or are you still playing Diablo, or are you kind of?
Yeah, I am still
Taking a
playing
break on
Diablo.
that.
I actually just recently finished the
wait,
story mode and have officially made
hear you,
one
Brett.
entire run through the
I
whole
got
game.
I hear him.
And yeah, so they just started the new season, like the brand new season 1 of Diablo came out today.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically it's re-rolling a new character from the beginning, and I'm just like, dang, I just put all that effort in.
Oh man, that stinks.
You got
But it's okay because that game is really cool. To be quite honest, like in the progress I've made so far, it's just the tip of the iceberg, and that game is gonna. If you enjoy hack and slash and the kind of RPG-ishness that goes with it in regards to the stat building, you will be satisfied.
Nice.
It's good. It's really good.
I can't bite the $70 bullet though. I told my buddy I'd buy it. I'm going to. It just like hurts my soul,
Dude. Just do. I mean, it's worth it. It really is. I
Just
mean,
do
it's
it.
one of those games that it's way different than Diablo 3. It actually kind of goes back to some slight Diablo 2-ish concepts in regard. However, they kept some of the Diablo 3 like, I guess you'd say like branching and tree lines and stuff like that for all your stats and abilities. But the Paragon boards are what's really cool. I mean, you can actually take Paragon boards and rotate them, and you basically add panels to this, and you just continue to expand this Paragon board. And you can change the panels to basically go any direction in regards to what kind of stat build you want.
Did they watch Inside Out from Pixar and imagine the motions board?
kind of, or the sphere grid from like FFX.
So again, not to go too far off topic here, but I'm so far behind in my gaming. I just started Mass Effect, like the first one. So that's how
nice. Well, no, I was actually gonna ask you, Ben. Didn't you just get a new game for your son? Some wrestling game just got, or like a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, Fight Forever finally dropped after like a year and a half of teasing us. I bought it for him for his birthday last September on pre-order, hoping it would drop by his birthday in October. It didn't, so it finally came the week before 4th of July. So
how is that?
The AEW Fight Forever. So it's the wrestling game.
Yeah, how is it?
It's fun. I was disappointed for what we got for waiting this long.
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna get like this like pristine package, but there was the old stage still.
Yeah.
Jokes are welcome there, guys. Go ahead. But like but you have one of the first things you can like earn is Cody Rhodes, who's been gone from the company for over a year.
Oh my!
So it's kind of like you have these pieces where you're just like this feels really outdated and it's supposed to be brand new. That's my biggest gripe. Like gameplay is like a modernized WCW Pretend to Be Your Revenge. Do you remember that? Kind of like when you're in ring, it feels similar.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
So I think it's THQ did this game as well. So it's same companies kind of interacting with it.
Okay.
Overall, a lot of great features, a lot of fun game modes you can play on. But yeah, just a few things that I'm hoping that we'll get some more DLCs that'll start to kind of make it more up to date. Like give me a free DLC for the Collision set. Give me a free DLC for a more modern roster. But we'll see what we get.
Cool. Marco, you playing anything lately or not?
No. I downloaded the update for Warzone, and then I've just heard nothing but bad things about it. So I've just been actually ran 2 DMZ games earlier today, and it seemed to be fine. I didn't run into anybody with the laser beam eyes or anything like that. But I'm going to finally commit to throwing on some Cyberpunk. I might actually do that tonight if I have some time. I'm just afraid that I'll just get into it, and then when I should be doing stuff and making money, I'm playing video games. So trying not to do that.
Well, now Troy, I know you're the only one here that really doesn't play. What was the last game you played?
I mean, I play with my son every once in a while. He has.
What does he play?
He has a PS5.
Okay.
So he's into the show. He likes playing the show. He likes playing Madden, of course. And then he really likes some of the first player shooter games, but I never got into those myself. I never liked any of those for some reason. I could play the shooter games, but I always liked if I could see the characters, what they call it, third player, I guess.
Yeah.
I just didn't. It almost gave me like motion sickness. Like there was too much movement going on and stuff like that when I was right there in it. So now, as far as gaming goes, the most I do is I play games on my phone. Like I don't know if you guys do any mobile games, but I do like Golf Clash. You guys play Golf Clash at all?
I've heard of it. I haven't had a chance to play it.
Play Golf Clash. And Clash Royale, I play that too as well. And then every once in a while I have a poker game I'll play or something like that. But that's about as far as my gaming goes. What's that?
Poker Clash, I assume you had Clash and the other two. So that
no, this one's it's just Zynga Poker or Zynga, whatever that game is. I think Zynga, Zynga.
Yeah, I play Zynga Poker sometimes.
Yeah.
Wait,
Nice.
Quick question: who here had a Zynga when it was a thing?
I didn't even know it was a thing.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
It was a social media platform.
Ah.
So Zynga was like in the MySpace age.
Oh.
I did not know that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I recall that now, but I didn't have one.
Yeah.
MySpace. Wow, that's cool. That's a blast from the past right there.
Yeah. Who were your top 8 friends? Was Tom in it?
Tom, it was a very contentious battle all the time. What song do you have, Troy? What songs are MySpace?
My song. What was my back? Oh man, I would imagine at that point in my life, where was I back? Boy, oh boy. I bet you it was some corny '80s song. It was probably some probably Hall & Oates song or something like that. I would imagine.
Yeah, I was very much on the Owl City train, like early Owl City stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been maybe Hello Seattle, maybe it would have been before Fireflies, but that was like the last time I ever touched my MySpace. So it was not pimped out, as they say.
All right, guys. Well, why don't we wrap it up here? Everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy some Women's World Cup soccer. I think it's just tomorrow night, right? They don't play like Saturday or Sunday, right?
I mean, Team USA won't play. Well, they'll play,
yeah,
they'll
that's
play Sunday. Yeah,
okay.
they'll probably play Sunday.
They play Sunday morning.
No, I think it's like Saturday morning. Let me double check here.
So I will say, I am interested. Normally, I couldn't give 2 shits about soccer, but I am interested just to watch them play. I mean, they do,
Oh, they're off until the 26th.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they won't play again till Wednesday morning.
It shows here tomorrow at 9:00.
Well, yeah, that's the first game against Vietnam, and then game 2 against the Netherlands on the 26th.
26. Okay. All right. Well, Well, they get time to rest, because there's a big, strong field of 32 teams compared to how many for the guys? It's like over 100 or something like that. I don't know.
Not for the actual World Cup.
Yeah, not when it gets to the
Once
cup.
they get into the World Cup, it's just the same number.
Is
right?
it the same 32? Okay,
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
I feel like whatever.
Which will be expanding at the next World Cup when Canada, U.S., and Mexico host.
Yep, because they're automatic bids for all 3 host countries.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow,
Yep.
it's a-
Canada, U.S., and Mexico.
Oh, so
are
it's all North America that's going to host
North
the World Cup that
America.
year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, interesting. That's pretty cool. How do they decide who gets the championship and stuff?
I mean, they bid all that stuff out when they're planning it.
Or
Yeah.
Together.
That's just they fight. It's a big
No,
fight.
I mean, I just wondered, like, when it literally gets down to the championship game, how do they decide that? Like,
it's all bids in the back room trying to make
Yeah.
conversation.
There's games at Arrowhead. I know there's games at Arrowhead.
I was going to say, I thought Kansas City won to be one of the sites or whatever. I
Yeah.
remember seeing that.
I'm actually talking about going down. My buddy, we're looking at Kansas City as a probable destination for us to go see a match. We were going to go down to Chicago a few weeks ago for the Gold Cup, but we ended up all having to bail because we're dads, and well, we all get that.
but by the way, before Pulisic, did he go to Germany to play after he was?
No,
or-
he did. He was at Dortmund
Yeah.
for a while, and then he's at Chelsea most recently. Now he's in AC Milan.
But I mean, like, when he was a child growing up, he was actually in Hershey, Pennsylvania, where the Bears and stuff like that play. That's where he
Yep.
grew up, in the Hershey. And then I think it was around the age of maybe 7 or something. His family moved over to Germany, and that's kind of where he got all. I think it was Germany. Am I wrong? Isn't it Germany?
Well, his first big club he played for was Dortmund, and so Chelsea he got transferred from Dortmund to Chelsea, and then that did not go well. But there's kind of been an interesting American movement of American players going to play in Italy this year. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I just know that was a really big deal. There's a golf course I go to in Lebanon here, and they have an autographed picture of Pulisic in here. And,
hey, real quick, Aaron, before we sign off, can you highlight that last comment that we have on this video? Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I know who that is. I know who you are, Jason Brown. I know you're a stinking Packers fan out there. I ain't taking your crap this year. I'm going to see Jordan Love in the dirt, and then we're going to
Hey, Aaron, I heard
send
that,
Green
I heard
Bay
that
down
15 years
to
ago what
the
Rodgers did to you.
cellar.
What-
Thank you.
What was that, Ben?
I heard that same argument from Chicago 15 years ago about Rodgers. Maybe
Yeah,
it's me. Crazy.
All right. On that note, guys, we'll see everybody next week. Have a great weekend and enjoy some soccer. Enjoy some other, golf or whatever's going on right now before football starts, man.
The Open.
Take care.